Welcome to Let's Thrive Postpartum, where we tackle postpartum depression and anxiety head on, guiding you back to yourself. Join Kelly Siebold, founder of Thrive Postpartum, and Ashley Moore, a maternal mental health therapist. Through honesty and laughter, we share expert advice and real stories. While not therapy or medical advice, you'll find education, support, and hope. Welcome to the village. Let's thrive postpartum.
Hi, moms, and welcome back to Let's Thrive Postpartum. I'm Kelly, and today we are diving into a topic that affects nearly every new mother, breastfeeding, and the journey that comes along with it. So I am incredibly honored to welcome two powerhouse guests from Nest Collaborative, a leader in virtual lactation support who is making waves across the country. So first we have Judith Nowlin, a venture-backed femtech pioneer and maternal health innovator with over 20 years of experience building companies and driving innovation. As the CEO of Nest Collaborative, she leads one of the nation's foremost virtual lactation platforms, delivering over 80,000 telelactation visits to date and partnering with hundreds of insurance payers nationwide. Previously, she founded iBirth, a groundbreaking pregnancy and postpartum care app, which was acquired by BabyScripts in 2018. A former childbirth educator, birth and postpartum doula, Judith has raised more than $10 million to advance maternal care. And joining her is Dr. Larissa Luce, a registered dietitian, international board-certified lactation consultant, and certified perinatal mental health specialist dedicated to proactive and preventative care. As the director of clinical services at Nest Collaborative, she helped develop a novel preventative model of lactation care to provide longitudinal breastfeeding support across the perinatal continuum. She's also the author of Eating from Bump to Baby, a cookbook and guide featuring nutrition-dense recipes to support mothers throughout the perinatal period. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. I know all of our moms listening, speaking from self-experience, have had challenges or are having challenges or don't know what to do if those challenges occur. So I can't wait to have you share your thoughts and your expertise. Judith, tell us a little bit more about the Nest Collaborative and what you all are trying to do for women across the country.
Absolutely. Kelly, thank you so much for having us on your podcast today. Excited to be here. At Nest Collaborative, we are a virtual lactation support platform offering telehealth video consults with IBCLCs. Those are the International Board Certified Lactation Consultants, the gold standard in lactation care. What's really cool about our telehealth platform is that we are available 365 days a year, including early mornings, late nights, weekends, and holidays. We work alongside OBGYNs, midwives, pediatricians as an extension of the critical care team. We are revolutionizing the role that lactation support plays in the big picture of maternal health care, prenatal through postpartum. And what's really, really special about what we're building here is that we're helping health insurance plans comply with the ACA mandate with regards to preventive lactation support, which says that plans must cover lactation support as a preventive service with no copay and no deductible throughout the duration of breastfeeding. And as a result, we accept hundreds of insurance plans and an ever-expanding list of Medicaid plans across the nation. We offer culturally competent care and make it really, really accessible for families, which breaks the status quo of wondering when you wake up in the morning and realize, uh-oh, I think there might be a problem. Who should I call? Will they be available? How far away are they? Do they have an appointment available today, or is it going to be 3 weeks from now? Is it a 3-hour drive or a 3-minute drive? With Nest Collaborative in our platform, it literally is, you get the access you need to the care and the support you need same day with caring providers right from the comfort of your own home. And if the insurance plan that you have covers this, then you do it at $0 out of pocket to you.
Judith, that is such an amazing service, and so many moms need it. We talk a lot on this podcast about there are maternal care deserts across the US. You can't find providers a couple hours away. You have to drive. The fact that this is available to moms for IBL certified lactation consultants on their phone or their computer is phenomenal. Such a great resource to have.
That's what it's all about. Timely, accessible, convenient, affordable. And so our moms, when they find us, it is pure delight because the level of stress around, I need help and I need it now, and it really can't wait till tomorrow or next week. That's where the magic happens with our IBCLCs.
That is perfect and a perfect segue because as a mom, like you just mentioned, that stress can already be there, especially if you're one of our moms who's struggling with overwhelm or depression or anxiety. And you do need help now when you need help now. So, can we talk about what struggles women are having with breastfeeding? What are you guys normally seeing that you help address? And any tips that you can give moms when they kind of the stress hits of, oh no, what do I do?
Yes, so that's a great question. Breastfeeding is so holistic. A lot of times we think of breastfeeding just being a physical thing, but it really is an emotional and a mental thing too. I know so many women make breastfeeding plans before the baby's even arrived, and they have plans usually early on in pregnancy that they want to breastfeed or try to breastfeed. And so having success with breastfeeding can really help the emotional well-being of an individual. On the other hand, having a less successful journey or having maybe pain with breastfeeding can really exacerbate stress and anxiety. So tackling these issues as a whole, not just the physical, but also the mental part, really can help make breastfeeding successful. And when we see physical issues and physical challenges with breastfeeding, we often are seeing things like discomfort, nipple pain, concerns about milk supply, and often it's just a perceived concern about milk supply. So connecting with an IBCLC to get that anticipatory guidance and education and what's normal, what's not normal, is this how it's supposed to be, or is this not how it's supposed to be? And so having that sort of support to feel confident that what you're doing is right and everything's on track and these milestones are normal can really help ease a lot of that stress and anxiety that a lot of new moms face.
That is a great thing. I love that you're looking at the whole female collectively and how that all plays into postpartum period. If there are women who are pregnant now, do you have any advice of what they can do from the preventative or the preparing side of breastfeeding?
Yeah, absolutely. Take a prenatal class. Really get that background information, get the tools you need to know what to expect and when to expect it, and connect with an IBCLC. And Nest Collaborative has some amazing prenatal classes and one-on-one prenatal care to really sort of look at that whole picture, your own risk assessments, what your own goals are, what your plans are, so that you have those tools ready to go when baby comes. And then, of course, with the mindset of, we may have to iterate. Maybe what your goals were before are different now, and that's okay too. And we walk alongside you every step of the way. So as things change, because inevitably they will change, have those tools and that confidence to make those changes.
I love that. That was a personal experience. I missed the pre-planning for it outside of my OB saying, here's a pump, your insurance pays for it. I missed that whole experience, and that would have been lovely to have that pre-training to come into it with education already. So thank you for what you guys are doing to preventively prepare moms.
So as a former childbirth educator, birth doula and postpartum doula, one thing I found so interesting when I was working boots on the ground is so many families came for their prenatal childbirth education and got a lot of information and preparatory experience getting ready for the time of labor and delivery. And ordering things from the list and getting the room set up. And then after baby was here, I worked with more families than I could count who realized, oh my gosh, I didn't prepare for this part at all. I didn't even think about it. And we covered these topics oftentimes in our childbirth education preparatory classes, but somehow it's like it was a vacuum. It was a vacuum of entire focus on get this baby out healthy and happy. But then afterwards came as a huge shock and surprise. And what I realized starting to work with families and helping them transition into their home after labor and delivery, that the real work and the biggest gap in our nation had everything to do with the postpartum time. And that's when I became insanely, maniacally passionate about working in the postpartum time and helping families get access to the care that they need, and hopefully creating greater ease and greater efficiency in how we do that. So it's not feeling like you're climbing, an uphill mountain trying to get the type of support that you rightly deserve in this most tender and vulnerable time.
I couldn't have said it better myself, because I think that's where our passion comes from as well. Especially, I know you hear it on the podcast a lot, but there is, like you said, Judith, this huge gap for women postpartum, and planning everything before is great. And then you are pretty much on your own, it feels like. And so knowing that there are organizations like Nest Collaborative who will not only come before your journey while you're preparing, but to be there with you in this transition period. So you're not in the middle of the night trying to figure out who do you call locally or how do you find help. There are people already available and willing, and it's filling that gap. So thank you for all the moms out there. I mean, it's just, there's not a lot of companies that actually help bring care to moms in this space. So thank you. So let me ask this. If a mom has gone through your prenatal classes, they have learned what to do. Do you have recommendations for as they come home and they're starting breastfeeding on their own, going through struggles and challenges? And if you're looking at the whole mom, what you kind of see and recommend in these first few weeks that's happening postpartum as they're really picking up breastfeeding?
Fourth trimester is so important, and we don't always hear about the fourth trimester. It's the first three that get so much focus, and that fourth trimester is so important, particularly while you're breastfeeding. And so establish your team. Who's your village? Who are your support people? And those are support people that may be in your house with you. You may have friends, a breast friend, a best friend that can help with breastfeeding support, and then also your healthcare team, and have a lactation consultant that if you haven't already established a relationship with, know that we are here with Nest Collaborative to have that breastfeeding support within those first few days when you get home. Because in the hospital, it's great. You've got lactation consultants that are coming in the room. You've got nurses, you've got doctors, you have people that are there to answer your questions. And then you go home and it's like, what now? Now's when the milks come in. Your milk hasn't come in the hospital, most likely. So now it's like, what's going on? So those first few days are really critical in establishing a great relationship with breastfeeding. And for a lot of women, they don't go back to their healthcare provider until week 6, sometimes even after that. Having a frequent touch point like you would with a lactation consultant who can see you, especially in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to drag a newborn baby out to go to an office. You turn on your computer, you connect with the Nest IBCLC, and you've got that support literally at your fingertips for those really critical time periods in the beginning stages of that fourth trimester.
I love that. It's such great advice. Let me ask a follow-up question. So if you're bringing your breast friend, which I love that phrase, I'm going to use it going forward, or if your partner's being your support person, what can those support people do to really help the mom in this situation? Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, great question. A lot of times when we think of support people, we think of sort of like tangible physical support. Your partner is bringing you snacks and drinks and doing diaper changes. And that, of course, is so important and does help lessen that mental and physical load. But your support people also being there for that emotional support and giving you the confidence and being your personal cheerleader. Everybody needs a cheerleader, but especially during that time period where there's a lot of changes, a lot of uncertainties. It doesn't matter if it's your first baby or your 10th baby, every experience is new and different. And so having that support team there, giving you that emotional support in addition to the physical support is really important. And have them be an advocate with you and for you and set clear boundaries. If you don't want visitors in those first few weeks, have them be the, quote unquote, bad guy. Have them be the one to help you enforce those boundaries that you set for yourself so you can have that time and space to really feel comfortable and confident in your breastfeeding journey.
There's something super important here around an intangible, like Dr. Luce mentioned, that is being seen. Simply being seen in these moments, right? When I was really, really early, first couple of weeks with my firstborn, he was a little baby in arms, and we were working so hard to make breastfeeding work. And my husband, I remember him coming up to my side, and yes, he helped with the snacks and he helped with the water and he helped me adjust the pillow when it felt like I needed 6 more arms in order to do this job. And I remember this moment that is burned in my memory. He came and he sat next to me and he put his hand on my knee and he said, "I wish I could help because this looks really hard. And I wish I could help more than what I'm already doing." And I said, "I'll tell you what, I wish you could too." Because this is hard every 2 hours, and there's some pain involved here at the beginning, and I am sleepless, and I'm not sure if it's working. I'm not sure if it's working right. And I said, "But you seeing me and seeing what I'm experiencing and being able to call it out and put words to it, it's everything. Thank you. Thank you for doing that part. It tells me that I'm not alone and that I'm not alone in this, even if you can't physically breastfeed this child on behalf of us today." What's really cool about bringing your full team alongside you, whether that's your own parents, your siblings, your neighbor, your best friend, your spouse, whomever, your partner, whomever it might be, your IBCLC, your doctor, your mental health specialist, when you get eyes on you and you get them to see you, that's the magic moment. And that is actually a transformative moment in the intangible. And it's part of what we are so proud to bring forward in our work at Nest Collaborative. And we're so proud to partner with all the mental health specialists out there who do that as well. Because for a lot of moms, newborn baby comes out and all anybody sees is that baby. "Hey, how's that baby doing? Hey, look at this one, so cute, amazing." And parent is standing there going, "Am I invisible? What's going on?" All of a sudden, no one's asking how I'm doing. No one seems to care. This is hard for me. Even though I wanted this, even though this is absolutely a wonderful thing, I'm having a hard time and I'm struggling. And nobody's seeing that. And so that's part of the magic of bringing your IBCLC alongside and your mental health specialist alongside, and then advocating and getting your team around you. It makes all the difference in the world.
It does. And that is the most beautifully told story, because you're right. Being seen, especially from your husband in those hard moments, means the world. And I always joke about how when I had a child, I went on an apology tour. My friends had children a decade before me, and I did not show up how a mom needed. I showed up for the baby, just like you said, Judith. I wasn't there for the mom. And so if you are the first one in your group who's having a child, or you want to give your support system ideas of how to support you, I really encourage you to share this episode with them. Let them hear some of the things they could do, because some of us needed educated on how to be a better support person or partner. And so walking us through that, Judith, was very helpful. And I love that he saw you in that moment.
I do too. It was magical, and it's lasted a really long time at that moment. One other very practical tip here, as a friend, when we check in on our new parent friends and we say, "How you doing?" And she says, "Good, fine." Pause. As a friend, you say, "No, really, how you really doing?" And then we go there together. Because that good, that fine, that's a surface response. And we want to really go to that depth of, "I didn't expect this. I wasn't prepared for this. It actually hurts and I don't know why." Or, "I'm mentally having some struggles and I'm having a hard time making sense of what's happening mentally for me." And then that's where, as a friend, we can come around and say, "You're not alone. You're not alone. There's help out there.
Thank you. That's exactly what all the friends and support people need to know. So trying to show up much better for future generations is key because I feel like, as you mentioned in the beginning, there is this gap for care for moms, but companies are slowly starting to make these changes just like you are, and it's so impactful. So let me ask this. We talked about those first few weeks. You've got your support team, you're working through it, you've brought your lactation support person in, you're really getting help. There's a lot of stress that comes for moms if they are returning to work. And maybe they're returning to work and they're breastfeeding. And there's already this stress of what's happening. What do you all see in that dynamic when you're trying to continue breastfeeding, if you are, and you're going back to work, and how that kind of exasperates any stress?
I mean, going to work can be stressful regardless if you have a baby or not. And so you add this extra layer on top of it, and it can be definitely a source for a lot of moms of anxiety. So having those conversations with your employer before you go on maternity leave is helpful if you have that opportunity, but it's not always possible for a lot of moms. And some moms don't even know if they plan to return to work until the time comes and the baby's however old the baby is. Connecting with an IBCLC to get those tips and tricks and creating a schedule and a plan that works best for the individual, because it is so individualized. Not everybody has a 9-to-5 job. Not everybody has a desk job. There's so many different types of positions that require a little bit of, Tetris when it comes to schedules to get that pumping in, but also becoming familiar with both your workplace, your local organization laws and policies, your state laws and policies, and of course the federal ones that protect working moms so that they can get whatever time they need to express milk in any way that they need to.
That is a great tip. And you're right, everybody's job is different. How do you make it work for you? And having the right person help you plan for that can be really helpful. When it comes to the mental health, talking about the whole person, the mom, how does breastfeeding play in to mental health? Are they related? Have you seen kind of any correlation? What is that like for a mom who may be already struggling?
There is a major connection between breastfeeding and mental health. So on the positive side, of course, there's that bonding benefit that you get from breastfeeding, that closeness that you get with your baby from directly breastfeeding. But there's also the science behind it. There's hormonal science where when you're breastfeeding, it's stimulating the release of these feel-good hormones. One of them is called oxytocin, and it provides this feeling of relaxation and stress reduction and anxiety reduction. So every time you breastfeed or express milk, it's releasing this hormone, which is just making you feel warm and fuzzy inside. And sometimes it makes moms feel a little sleepy and just totally relaxed. So there is a real science connection behind it. And for those that have breastfeeding goals and ambitions and are doing well with breastfeeding, it can be really a great sense of accomplishment and a boost of confidence and a boost of self-esteem. On the other hand, there can also be a little bit of a connection between breastfeeding and negative mental health if it's not going well, because then that can create some extra stress. So reaching out, getting some lactation support to tackle some of these challenges as they come up can help alleviate some of that stress and anxiety that comes along with it. And also giving yourself some grace and permission to wean if that's what's best for your mental health. We at Nest Collaborative meet moms where they are in their journey, and we walk alongside them. We are not going to force someone to breastfeed. Whatever their goals are, we're there to be a support. And so if it comes to the point where you feel like, my mental health is really struggling, I think what would make me happiest is to wean. Give yourself permission to do so without guilt and without feelings of failure. And let us be there to support you doing it in the most comfortable and safest way so that you feel confident and proud of your journey, however long that is.
One of the most important things as mothers, as parents, from the very beginning in pregnancy, through labor and delivery, early postpartum, 4th trimester, and beyond. I have adult children now, so it goes all the way, is truly the ability to listen to yourself, listen to your body's cues, Listen to what your gut instinct is saying. When we learn how to do that, it's always a success. And so the outcome, if we try to attach success to a particular outcome that was pre-imagined, more times than not, we'll probably just be very disappointed. And then we, as women, have a history of bringing guilt and shame and unkind words onto ourselves. And that is a scenario that does not need to happen at all. And that's what I love about our IBCLCs, who are trained, like Larissa said, meet families where they're at. Listen to yourself. What's right for you? What's the best choice for yourself, for your baby, for your family, for your circumstance? That is a choice that is unique to you. It is not anybody else's situation. Nobody knows your situation, and nobody can make that choice for you. So digging deep, I learned, when I was teaching childbirth education classes and got started 20 years ago doing that. At first, I thought it was about, we're teaching people how babies come out of bodies, this way, that way, the other way. And I realized really quickly, that's not what this is about at all. This is about teaching families, teaching mothers and fathers how to listen to their instincts, because their instincts will guide best.
So well said. And something that as a new mom, I'm still trying to learn. You kind of get your grounding as you do more and more. And just such a great reminder for all of us as our children age, it still comes back to, you best. And so thinking through moms who may already have anxiety or overwhelm, if there's a lot going on in this fourth trimester, if breastfeeding is one of those additional stressors or challenges, the Nest Collaborative is available. Judith, if moms are interested or want to know more, how do they reach out and get in touch with you all?
Yeah, it's so simple. They can go to our website, nestcollaborative.com, and navigate to the book an appointment here button and put your information in. We'll validate your insurance. We'll let you know if it's a plan that we accept or don't accept. If we don't accept the plan, we also take HSA and FSA. We also have discounted self-pay rates. We've got group classes for prenatal, group classes on postpartum topics. We've got a really cool Latch Lounge peer support group. One that's very popular is a native Spanish-speaking Latch Lounge group. It's so much fun in there. All of the support happening with an IBCLC, facilitating those interactions and providing that lactation support. We've got one-on-one visits for prenatal education, for immediate, literally 48 hours after baby's born, you can come in and have, or not even 48 hours, you can come in anytime you want, have an appointment, immediate postpartum within those early days, fourth trimester, and all the way through weaning, every point of navigation, teething, starting solids, return to work. We are right there with you. And it's just as simple as going to the website, clicking on the button, book an appointment here, and you put your information in, and we can oftentimes see you within 2 hours of you initiating that kind of outreach for, I would like an appointment.
That's amazing. And moms, I know listening, breastfeeding can be one of those things that is stressful. And so we wanted to bring you support today, a place to find help if you're looking for it. Dr. Luce, Judith, thank you both so much for talking with us today, sharing your insights. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you would want a mom listening to know?
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Be proud of your journey, whatever that looks like.
You've got this. Believe in yourself and the wonderful, wonderful life force that you're bringing forward as you parent this new child. It's such an incredible journey. And when you listen to your gut and you listen to your instincts, you're making the right choices every step of the way.
Ladies, thank you. Moms, we hope that you got some insights out of this, some ways to seek support if you're looking for that. And remember, we will be here next week. Have a great one.
If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, please be sure to hit subscribe, leave us your feedback, and give us a 5-star review. For even more support, visit us at wethrivepostpartum.com/podcast to sign up for our newsletter and learn more about our community. Remember, you are not alone. With support, you can feel better. Together, let's thrive postpartum.